Hello and welcome to Technostrasser. I'm Tom Dodge. Get in touch at Technostrasser. Technostrasser.com or Facebook/Technostrasser. This week I thought I'd throw together, it's not a little video, it's actually quite long, on how I put my Technostrasser radio show together. If you haven't heard it, check on over to our Facebook page where it's uploaded every week alongside Mixcloud. I do a 1 hour show where I try to get the best techno from that week and kind of just throw it together in a mix. I talk over it, as you'll see. But what I really wanted to do was just highlight how I make my show and kind of just show all you need really is a microphone, a webcam, and a computer with some editing software on it, and of course some DJ equipment. That's all you need to kind of create your own podcast or mix show or whatever. So I suppose the first place we need to go is over to Beatport. Everything I suppose starts off here on Beatport, where I tend to source the majority of my music. You can check out my earlier video where I tend to look for my records, particularly from a number of labels. So I will probably start on Beatport, and the first place I'll start is probably the top 5 or top 10. So I will probably just give a couple of these tracks a listen. And if they sound nice, if they sound like the sort of techno that I'm looking for or that I could fit into the show, then I will grab those. So for instance, this track, we've played it on the show before, Uncompromising by the Adana Twins. Let's say I'd never heard that track before, I'll just go, I'll give it a listen. And then, just from this nice little preview, I will think, yes, either yes, that track's for me, or no, not my style. Normally every week I'll try and grab at least 1 or 2 from here, just to keep things fresh. Obviously trying to get that brand new music in there a lot of the time. The Beatport page is really well laid out anyway, because you can just, artist charts. So if there's an artist on here that catches my eye, for instance, Dubfire, a big popular artist, I'll think, what tracks is he recommending? So I might look at those, especially if it loads. And again, I'll do the same thing. Do these tracks sound good? Are these my style? These are quite minimalist tracks, some of those. But I will listen to a number of these charts and think, I'll pick up tracks from there. Also, if you watch my top 5 labels video, I always try and check out some labels. So let's say Phobos, I will go on there. So Phobos Records, we'll find them, and first of all, I'll do what I did on the main Beatport page. I'll look at the top kind of 10, give them a listen. Do these sound good? Do these sound like my style? What I want the show to be going down? Or sometimes I'll just, that's the joy of looking for music, the joy of digging for tracks. We're not physically digging, but, you just explore the back catalogue sometimes. These are popular releases, but we can go on tracks. We can find, you can just dig through the back catalogue, find some tracks that are really nice. This is random. So this might be a track I'd like, and it's all, because it's all there on Beatport. So I'll just look straight through Beatport on certain labels, and sometimes I'll think, who is this artist? I can't find that track now, but let's say, who's this artist? You can just click on them. You can find out who else they've been releasing on, what their top 10 tracks are, give those a listen. And, it's like, if I like it, if I think it fits on the show, if I think the listeners will like it, put it in your basket, find a discount code, and there you go. I also get some records through like promo pools. So certain labels will send me tracks. And again, if they fit the vibe, if they fit the style, they'll hopefully get in the show. A lot of the time, these are the same guys that I do reviews for as well, so that's nice. So I guess that's how kind of the show starts, just digging, finding tracks, and then trying to see where they'd fit in the mix. So once we've got all our tracks together from Beatport, then comes sort of the main bit, which is mixing everything together. If you head on over to our Facebook page, you can probably see some of our live streams that we've done. They should be on Facebook forever and ever. I mainly tend to DJ mainly using 2 tracks because, you know, I want to showcase the tracks throughout. I have an Ableton Push, which I use for live drums, and I also have on the 4th deck my sort of sweeper that says you're listening to Technostrasser. I think that just helps remind people that they're listening to Technostrasser, and the contact details as well if they want to get in touch. I tend to play that every 15 minutes, almost as like a sort of mini advert, just to break the track up into nice 15-minute chunks. Behind me I've got my Traktor S8, which I think is a perfect controller for me. And like I said, in the back of it I've got going in the Ableton Push for the drums, and my sort of advert, which I control using the Traktor X1. Really simple setup, really, in terms of I just play the tracks, mix in the next tracks. The only sort of complicated stuff I do is with the drums and some effects, really, just to keep the vibe going. So that's really it for the mixing. The next part we move on to is actually putting it all together on the computer. Okay, so now we've come back over to the computer, and this is where really I start to actually put the show together. We've got the tracks, we've mixed the tracks, now we need to actually turn it into a radio show. So what I use for that is a microphone. Any microphone will do, and I use Adobe Audition. We used to use it a lot when I was over on the student radio. It's really good for kind of editing audio, melding audio together. Like I make my whole show on this piece of software. I think you can use other softwares like Audacity, or even the free version of Adobe Audition if you use the demo. So along here I have the show all the way along to the hour, and you know, you can just hear it. Where I tend to kind of put my commentary is normally in a breakdown. So we can see here that there is a breakdown because the waveform's slightly smaller, because it's not as loud, or the gain isn't as high. So I tend to put my commentary around here. So here's a clip that I've recorded, and the first thing I do is I take off the start and the end, just in case it captures any like ambient noise if I hit the microphone or if I press a key or whatever. And so I hopefully the microphone picks up what this sounds like when I recorded it, because quite often I put an effect on my voice that just makes it have a bit more presence. So this is what it sounds like normally.
This track right now, really nice bass line that's about to come in, along with some really nice tight vocal cuts. The artist is Italian Fabio Ferrido. The track is called Grooving, and it's available right now over on Color.
So that just sounds like my my normal voice. And what I do is I add a little preset which is called the radio announcer voice. And what it does, I've tweaked it ever so slightly, but basically what it does is it thickens your voice out, gives it a bit more weight and a bit more presence, especially when you're talking over music. So if I apply that preset now, look how much bigger it's made the waveform, and hopefully you can hear how it sounds.
This track right now, really nice bass line that's about to come in, along with some really nice tight vocal cuts. The artist
makes it sound a lot bigger and a lot thicker in the mix. So we can see here, look, that the waveform's gone bigger. You could hear there that I tend to keep my vocal commentary fairly limited. I always say the track title, the artist, and the record label. Sometimes I'll throw in some more information. Let's say if the artist is touring, or if they've got a new release on the way, or if it's a release that's just come out and I've just reviewed it, I will, kind of plug the review. But I tend to keep it really nice and short, sharp and sweet. I know that people are here for the techno music and not necessarily for my opinion on the tracks. So what also we've got here is how I time it. So you can see on the waveform, and if you know your tracks, you know when the track is building up. So I know that the drop is about here. So I time my commentary to come in just before the drop. So if we listen to this.
This track right now, really nice bass line that's about to come in, along with some really nice tight
But what we can notice is we can't really hear it. Even though we've already boosted it, we can't hear it. So what I tend to do is I tend to just drop the background or the music a couple of decibels and boost my vocal ever so slightly. So now, hopefully, we should be able to hear it a lot clearer over the track.
The artist is Italian Fabio Ferrino. The track is called Grooving and it's available right now over on Cologne.
I think that works well because I'm talking when the track isn't talking, because here really the track is in charge. The track is doing the talking. I'm talking in between the big bits of the track, which I think really helps keep the vibe going, keeps the mix flowing. And that's really about it, really. I tend to do it every couple of minutes. I will introduce a track or, move on from one track into another track. And obviously on the 15-minute marks, every 15 minutes, like I said, I will throw in my little advert, so we might be able to find that somewhere.
Techno Strasser or listen on Mixcloud.
And what I tend to do after those every 15-minute adverts is just, you're listening to Techno Strasser, get in touch, and I'll plug the contact details, and then I'll say still to come, to keep interest. Still to come, we got tracks from, let's say, HC Kurtz and Hobo. But right now, so in this case, this would be brand new music from Dustin Hawkesbury, brand new from Justin James's Refused. The track is called Behemoth. Now, there you go. That could be a link. Obviously, I would do it again because I was just reading it off there. But that would be a 15-minute link. And just keeps the track going, keeps the vibe flowing, nice, short, sharp, concise little links that just keep the track going. And once I have kind of edited the whole track together, edited the whole mix together, and put in the vocals, I then just upload it to Mixcloud and then onto the Facebook, and there we have it. There's a radio show.